Guys, Deluded Guna, YouTube's and Golo Kante. Sundays equals Q&A day. Obviously, this is Saturday night. There's nothing else to do. I must admit, I'm not into the FA Cup. I'm not feeling it, to be honest. I love football and that, but it's childish, guys. But that's Arsenal's cup. I've been spoiled winning that throughout my time as an Arsenal fan, more so the last couple of years. We're not in it. We were holding it. I feel a bit sour. So I've done a lot of things away from football today, but might as well record the Q&A. Obviously, it'll be Sunday by the time this comes out. As always, thank you very much for the questions, man. Whether it's Friday or Sunday, you guys come hard, you man come heavy. Regardless of if you hit me up through YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, DeludedGuna04 and everything apart from Snap, DGuna04. You lot go heavy, man. I've tried to give it as much time. I've tried not to miss anyone else's questions. As usual, thank you, man. There's a lot of diverse questions, some stuff that, as usual, will put me on the spot. But let's crack on, man. Get in the comments with more questions, but let's go on. Pardon me, we've been going from top to bottom to top, so let's go from the actual way, from top to bottom. GK asks, brother, thoughts on Clarence Seedorf getting the Deportivo La Coruña management? Surely this is a massive step forward for black managers in Europe. He lost his debut game against Betis, and I wish him nothing but success. And Fabian Ruiz, quality DM, damn near complete. Yeah, he does look very decent for a tall guy as well. He's got decent techers, but I need to stop chewing the gum. But in regards to Clarence Seedorf, I will say, I mean, I'm happy to see him back in management. We all remember him at AC Milan with Balotelli, that iconic moment, that eye thing. I mean, like you said, there's not a lot of black managers. Like, on one hand, you could probably count them, like which ones that come to mind. Chris Hughton, Seedorf, because we're speaking about him. I forgot his name, but there's a new Barnsley coach that are black managers, and Chris Powell's now at Southend. In a game that's diverse and rich with as many black players and fans, to see only a handful of managers, well, if you look at England, out of 92, there's about 3 or 4. There's a lot of progress to be made, so we'll always salute someone. Seedorf was had an illustrious career as a footballer, and that's me being modest about how much he's achieved. Hopefully he gets a fraction of that as a manager, to be honest. You want to see people do well. Like he said, he's a brother. I wish him nothing but success at Deportivo. Will he keep them up, though? Again, I haven't seen where they are in the table, but I'm pretty sure they're rock bottom the last time I checked. You've seen the sort of stuff that Perez is, that stuff's going with Lucas Perez and stuff. So he's going to have a lot of fans that have lost their patience with the players and stuff. So he's going to have to steady a ship. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. And I'm waffling now. Bello asks, news on the weekend came out that Aubameyang wants Ousmane Dembele at Arsenal and Alderweireld becoming Campbell 2.0. Is there any chance for this to happen, or is it just talk? Bro, I thought Aubameyang was just talk. I think this is still talk. Of course, I'd love to be wrong, bro. Imagine getting that Toby Alderweireld in this back four, 3, whatever they want to come with, or whatever they try to do. And imagine Dembele. We cry for directness on the flanks. We cry for all of this. He'll come with that, and he's got the potential. But it's merely paper talk. Now, Toby Alderweireld, I believe next summer, not this summer coming, he's out of contract. I'm not too sure when a £25 million release clause can be activated, and if anyone can activate it. So if anyone can activate it, Spurs fans, get in the comments. You guys are clued up on that. If anyone can activate it on the basis that Arsenal could, and Toby Alderweireld is great, then of course I'd be up for it. But if I put myself in Toby's shoes, I'm not going to sit here and say, why wouldn't I sign for Arsenal? Because it's the same way if an Arsenal player was going to Spurs. They're near enough the same now, as crap as they're both crap. Let's be honest, both clubs are crap, to be honest with you. Like, on the general scheme of things, Spurs are looking alright, but they ain't won anything. Arsenal, we've won stuff, but we're not doing nothing. So yeah, they both need heavily investment, and that's not me being harsh. That's me trying to quickly opinionate that. So there's nothing in Toby wanting to come to Arsenal. If I'm Toby, I'm trying to listen to... I know Chelsea are having a bit of a wobble now, but I'm trying to listen to Chelsea, City if they were ever on it. I'm trying to hear United for the financial packages. I'm trying to hear Barca and Madrid, which I believe, and Munich, the 3 clubs that he should be at. PSG to a degree if they want him. They're the 4 clubs that will probably sniff for him. 3 of those very prestigious... Well, they're all prestigious clubs, but you know what I mean in the sense of Real Madrid, Munich, and Barcelona. They're the sides that are near enough the elite rounds of the Champions League. If I was him, I would be going there. I mean, if they can really get him for 25 million in a day and age, no disrespect to Virgil van Dijk, he cost 75 million. If you can get him for 50 million cheaper, you do that. Toby's hard. Toby's the best in the league, arguably. I've got to big up Kishon, even though he's fallen off, and I'm an Arsenal fan. The minute Toby leaves, I'll salute him, just like Walker versus Bellerin. We're shameless like that. But I can't see that happening. That can't happen. It can't happen. His contract's not up. His contract's not up for us to do that. There's hella teams I would listen to before I was Arsenal if I was him. Levy will not do that. Will not want it to happen regardless of the release clause. I can't see it happening. Dembele, Barcelona just spent 100 odd million. He's a young pro with a lot of potential on par with Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe, however you want to say. He's having a lot of injuries at the moment, but his potential is still there. And they invested 100 odd million into him. It'd be silly to let him go. You're hearing talk that they want to bring in Griezmann and these sort of players and things like that. And they've just brought in Coutinho. So surely maybe in compliance to FFP, I don't know Barcelona's agreements, but they might have to let people go. But I don't think Dembele would be one of them. And if he is, of course I'd welcome him with open arms at Arsenal, but it'd be idiotic of Barcelona, in my opinion, to let him go, to be honest with you, permanently. Maybe a loan, but who knows. Next question. Yeah. Mr. Will Grigg asks, if you were the Spurs manager, what would you do if Real Madrid came in for Kane? It all depends, bro. I mean, it all depends. On one hand, you sell Kane, you're selling a world-class player. Let's be honest, Spurs won't replace him purely on the basis that it's like Arsenal with Alexis Sanchez. To replace them players, you've got to pay a hefty fee. If Kane was to leave on the basis that he's one of the most elite strikers in the Premier League, so let's just say, I'm not saying he's better than anyone or worse than anyone, but the elite bracket of strikers in the world, that's Sergio Aguero, Lewandowski, Cavani, all of these sort of man. But Spurs are not going to pay for them players, the transfer fee, let alone the wages. So you'd have to think twice about selling them. But then again, everyone's got a price. 100+ million, 200, and all these mad fees that are going and mad fees that are quoted for Kane. Everyone's got a price. 200 mil, boy, you gotta sell that. I don't know what you do with the money, what Levy would choose to do with the money. You'd think reinvest into the squad, but every player's got a price, and that's mad money, to be honest. But by the same logic, do you really need the money if Kane is Kane and he's carrying the team? And if you sign other people and build it around him, it'd be a difficult decision. I'd probably sell him, to be honest with you, and try and invest and stuff like that. But then again, if I'm Pochettino, I'd be a bit apprehensive in doing that, because we know Pochettino typically gives a short list to Spurs, and whoever they come back with, they come back with. And we know it's not a test of his ambition to kick on to the next level, or the fans, or the players. It's the board to get rid of the wage structure, to add proper funds to go out and spend 50 mil when they see quality on a player and things like that. So maybe, man, if I was a Spurs fan, sell Kane, bring in a striker. Maybe a couple of positions you'll live, but Kane is bringing in 30 goals minimum. He scored, I swear he got 29 last year in the Premier, and he's going to touch that. The man takes off August, he got injured. I swear he missed a month last season as well, and he missed some time, and he's still doing that. I'd probably sell him, but that's tough, bro. I'd sell him, but it'd be a tough one. Yeah, man. Yeah, hopefully I've answered your question. You've got a couple side notes. You've also said, would you consider No, what have you said bad things there. My bad, I messed it up. You've got another question. Who is your favourite African footballer to have played the game? There's a lot, man. I got a lot of time, man. FCN comes to mind. He was a bad boy. You got to shout out Jogbar. You got to shout out Canoe, of course. You got to shout out my man Lauren. Lauren probably that. You got to shout out JJ Okocha. I never got to watch him, but George Ware. Again, I was slightly young. I was a bit young and he was a bit before my time, but Tony Yeboah looked like a madman, and when I watch his clips, I'm very vexed. I never got to see, man, consistently. There's bare African stars, man. There's bare African stars. Eto'o. You got to shout out Eto'o. Eto'o. Yaya Toure in his prime. He might not have been levels like that, but Seydou Keita, he was decent. Who else, man? You put me on this Kalu. I've already said that. Not Kalu, what's his name? Kolo Toure, big Kolo Toure. Any French player of African descent, really. You put me on the spot with that. I'd have to go back in time, but they're the ones that are coming to my head and screaming to me, my guy. So I'll go with all of them. Yeah. Next question. Where am I? Almost got lost. Harry Hunter asks is, what do you think of Ousmane Dembele being linked with Arsenal? I've basically covered that question. I would love it to happen, bro. He's what we need, whether we play him on the flanks or either side of the flanks. He's what we need. He's direct, he's skillful. He can be a bit more calculated, and he's not as good as people think he is, in the sense that people think he's a finished article. He's not. He shows his youthful inexperience. So we would have someone that can grow. If we were to get him for whatever fee, he's someone that can go for another madder fee, because he's ranked as having the same potential as Kylian and these sort of things. I would love it to happen, but I mean, you don't invest 100 million in someone and get rid of them after 1 year, especially when it's down to injuries and things. Now you hear whispers that the players and stuff aren't happy with how he likes to play. To a degree, you could say he has to learn the Barca way. It's about being a bit more calculated. And it's about kissing up to Messi's ass, essentially. I'm not going to lie. He does need to be a bit more calculated. I've already said that. And I do believe I can't fault him for not turning down Barcelona, especially in the state though. And prior to him coming, you got to do that, and he still can be a success and play a key role. But you've got to somewhat be the finished product to go to Barcelona or Real Madrid. Maybe not so in recent times, but historically, that's just my opinion. Like if I'm a footballer, I'm only going there if I'm at the highest of my game. Cause I'm not on this bench thing, really and truly. But yeah, that's it. He also asks could you make a video about Issa Diop, or the Toulouse one? I like him, man. He's a heavy centre half. He's part of the French mad contingent of players that are coming to the pipeline. And like I said in the video which I've spoken about before, I don't know what's in the water in France, but it seems to be working. FCHS student asks, what do you think of Robbie's reaction to Bellerin's comments at Oxford Union? Robbie's always going to say what he said. He did make a good account of himself, and he said this before. I mean, Robbie, if it was just based on Robbie, I mean, Robbie's a cool guy. What Robbie said makes sense, and there's a lot of truth in it. But at the same time, you've got to question stuff. Like when you see a lot of people shout. Someone actually said, and it's true, Robbie said he gives every fan a voice, and he does. But someone also said, so why do you have the same people on that stir up the hate and the toxicness and stuff? And on one hand, people want to hear their opinions, no doubt about it. People want to hear their opinions, and if people want to hear their opinions, it's about giving a platform. Let man speak. But at the same time, could you bring in more? Could you let that be disbanded and have a different set every week? I'm pretty sure you wouldn't, because your numbers would go down and your money would be less, to be honest with you. And yeah, you need them for the views. There's no thingy about it. There's no wrong in saying you want them for the views because you want to eat at the same time. I don't think he cares about. He does clearly cares a lot about money. I don't think he is as money hungry as he's painted to, but I don't think he's necessarily as innocent as he's painted to. But regardless of that, Robbie is still the guy, man. And in regards to that, Robbie, like, there wasn't much of what Robbie. What you can disagree with what Robbie said. The problem's never been Robbie or Arsenal Fan TV. It's a platform. It's certain people that have abused it and used it. Like if it was just Robbie and a couple others, it's calm. People in my comments have told me after my Bellerin video, ironically, I'm sour of Gunner, Lee Gunner, Guna, Bang or whatever. How can I be sour of anyone's achievements? If you regular viewers, you know I'm not a hater. Like I'm not a hater. I like to see people make it and people do things. But if I believe you're chatting shit, you're chatting shit. And in regards to the Bellerin situation, I believe DT is chatting shit. I believe Lee Goon is chatting shit. I believe Bellerin is chatting shit. Everybody's chatting shit. Like everybody being bitches. Like there's many things to moan about. If we're gonna moan about something, let's moan about Wenger. Let's moan about Kroenke. Let's moan about real stuff. Like we're just in fact, we're not moaning at all because we're moaning in general at Arsenal. We're feeding into the beast. I just believe everybody on all sides, whether it's the players or the fans, everybody's allowed an opinion, and I'm not picking sides, but I feel everybody's too sensitive. People are not getting upset about stuff you should be upset about. And man, in these comments are telling me I'm salty, I'm this, I'm that, and actually I was with my boys. I was with my boys and I showed them the comment. Someone was like, I'm a pussy because I didn't name drop people. What is there to name drop people on? I'm giving my general opinion. I got no problems with no one. If people got a problem with me, that's different. I'm like people. You know my face. If you see me on Underground, put your work in. Like fuck. People call me salty. I hope all them people that are commenting, I hope that all these big YouTubers you're breading, even if you're breading me, I hope them man they are giving you tips for the lap dances you're doing. Like I said, I give them my opinions. I believe everyone is trying shit in that regard. Like it's a story about nonsense. I believe Bellerin to a degree was misquoted. By that same logic, he could have been a bit more courteous to fans and scheduled and structured his words a bit more. Do I agree with personal attacks on Bellerin, like actual personal, saying he hasn't achieved anything in his life at 22 years of age and these things? No, I don't. But there's no smoke without fire. I'm not saying any side's right. I'm not saying any side's wrong. I'm just saying all sides are bitches, to be honest with you. Like, if fans are going to moan about this, could you imagine how they'd react if, like, when Higuain was saying Juventus fans, he criticised Juventus fans, or when Icardi criticised Inter Milan fans on several occasions, right? And several other clubs where players have been booed and things, or Ronaldo with the Madrid fans, and them Madrid fans are serious. You seen them chasing cars. Man are too sensitive in this thing. If you're over 16 years of age, you shouldn't be ridiculously sensitive. And right or wrong, whether you agree with him or not, shout out to the small majority of people that could actually listen to exactly what was said, what Bellerin said. I don't feel in life that enough is said. We don't think about enough of what people exactly said. We get all caught up on emotions and start running around with several other things. But yeah, man, I'm waffling on that one too much, man. Shout out to you, my guy, for that question. Tariq Amazing asks, Bale in his last 2 seasons or Kane in this season and last? Well, firstly, Bale, man, I must admit it's a while, so I might not be doing him justice with that, but I swear he got 26 odd goals in one of them last 2 seasons there. He scored from 30 yards, 1 goal against someone. I'm so sure Spurs missed out on top 4 in one of them 2 seasons as well. So naturally, you say Kane on the basis that they've progressed year on year and they've got top 4 them 2 occasions. Kane's bagging off 30 goals and these things there, and they've made it. Like I said, top. I'm just looking at it on top 4. Then if we go back up 3 years, so we make it 3 versus 3. There was that year Spurs were better than us, which they have been for the last 3 years. But the year we got lucky and they didn't get top 4, so you could say that it'd be a tough one. I'd say Kane, man, because on one hand, I just think, I know, man, Bale is fucked, right? Bale's moving fucked, but for me, I just feel Kane's been around when there's been a shift in change at Spurs in that, man, I believe in this thing. They don't care if you're Juventus, credit to Spurs for their February, to be honest with you. I know Juventus is around the corner, but I don't care if you're Juventus, Arsenal, whoever, they're on this thing now. Back in the day, Spurs, they'll turn up against Arsenal, but I don't think the expectation was as high in Bale's time as it was now. But then again, Kane got 90-odd goals or whatever in the calendar year, and he's getting 30-odd season after season. I'm so sure, not that I care for the PFA awards because Kun Aguero hasn't got one, and that shows how wrong it is, despite the fact he's made history. I'm so sure Bale won the Young Pro, the proper PFA Player of the Year, and the Young PFA Player of the Year, and he won the Football Writers. Not that I care for that, but he surely couldn't have been that bad. That's a great question, bro, but I'm going to probably say Kane, to be honest with you. The bunk bed asks is, I know you're not a footballer, bro, but Sunday I have my first game in about a year. What tips could you give me for my performance? Well, I'm going to be honest. You're clearly going to be rusty. You're going to be rusty. What I would say is take your time, breathe, think about your decisions, make sure your movements are premeditated. Take your time. You're going to be rusty, bro. You're going to have a dodgy first touch. If you play up front, you might miss a couple. But just play. It's about playing out of that, bro. Just don't get your head down. Just keep going. If you miss a shot or you fuck up, keep going, bro. Keep going. I'd say just take your time. Take your time. Don't let anybody tell you nothing. And don't injure yourself again. You clearly, I don't know if you was, I'm assuming you're injured. I hope you just ain't been playing football and you're getting back in this thing. But assuming you're injured, don't play with that mental block. At the same time, don't be silly. What I mean by that is don't think, I hurt my ankle. If I go for this tackle, I'm going to get it again. Because you'll play rubbish, if that's the word. So yeah, but at the same time, if you've hurt your ankle, clearly you've got to be sensible, not just flying tackles because it might happen again. But don't play with that mental handbrake. Don't think you're going to mess up your touch or you're going to hurt any part of your body which is injured if it is injured. If it's not, my advice is just to play with confidence, play with no fear, and play like you're literally going to die after 90 minutes. Like, picture that if you do not put in this performance, your mother, your father, everybody you love is going to die. That's the only way. I know it sounds extreme, but this is the only way we can get anywhere in life if we think in extremes to a degree. So, yeah, hopefully that answers your question, man. Someone else got a question. We got bare questions, man. DMN9 asks, who's your best player in the EPL outside the top 6? I'm going to straight up say Mahrez. Of course, I'm going to say Mahrez. That's an easy one for me, bro. That's a good question. I really should do some research, but I don't like to. When I research your questions, it feels like I'm not being real. But I'd say Mahrez, to be honest with you, my guy. Mahrez, man. Yeah. Rene Adelaide, because he's technically not in the top 6 club now. But yeah, shout out to my guy, Rene Adelaide. But lastly, Jack Lyle asks, what type of... What? I think I missed out someone's question. I lost someone's questions. My bad, my guy. But someone asked, what type of coach do you consider yourself to be? Like Klopp? Like Klopp on the touchline or like Wenger? A bit of both. To be honest, I believe nowadays in football you need to constantly be on players' backs, like you see with Conte going mad, constantly telling players what to do. I do believe that's because players are not smart nowadays. They don't think, they're having too much done for them. So I'll be doing a bit of the Conte, like I just said, or Klopp. I'd be doing a bit of that. But I'd also want to be a bit like, I know Pep's always off his seat, but I want to be a bit like Pep or Wenger. How much time, if you really need to constantly be on the touchline screaming at your team and telling them what to do, surely something's wrong. Surely, if you're training all week, showing them tactics, and you can't really trust them to do things and give them a facility to do their own thing and have independent decision makers, surely something's wrong. You're not then a manager, are you? You're essentially by yourself. Like, management isn't necessarily directing orders at the time. I personally believe in freedom within a framework. I believe in inspire each individual to want to achieve the collective goal for them, because I believe you can bring a man to the most dankest water, the most best coconut water, but you can't make him drink it. We talking about, there's jelly in it, just drink it, bro. But yeah, man, I'd say that. Lastly, my guy, he's got a few questions, well, 2. JP Jackson, thoughts on Tar, the centre-back. He's decent, concentration good, improving his mobility, but he's firm in the tackle, he's strong, he's decent ball playing. I'm surprised nobody's bid for him. I'll definitely take him. Thoughts on Fabian Ruiz of Betis? Well, for me, for a relatively tall guy, he's got a decent passing range, he's got decent technical qualities. I need to admittedly see a bit more of him, but that's what the main two things that stand out for me, to be honest. But yeah, guys, with that being said, that's the Q&A done. Guys, Deluded Guna, YouTube's N'Golo Kante. Get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest. I'm out of here.